The Metaverse is an immersive platform for creativity, community, and identity, and rich in potential for music creators and fans. That is why the ASCAP Lab and the NYC Media Lab have chosen these 4 teams to receive grants and mentorship.
Popins brings music to the Metaverse by turning artists into 3D photorealistic holograms. A high-quality, affordable, lucrative way to enter the Metaverse.
At OffBeat, we like to say each of us have a unique music identity. Create your avatar, you then describe yourself musically, your whole musical life, our music ID.
SolTunes generates these short compositions as mintable NFTs. These are like miniature songs. We call them SolTunes.
MetaCities was designed to bring badly needed organization to the current chaos of the metaverse. We are a team of developers and world builders who create high-quality interactive virtual worlds.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Music in the Metaverse, 4 startups shaping our new extended reality. I'm Brooke, Eplee, SVP of Strategy and Business Development at ASCAP and leader of the ASCAP Lab. The Metaverse is an immersive platform for creativity, community, and identity, and rich in potential for music creators and fans. The 4 early-stage startups you'll hear from today are exploring new ways to create and experience music, express musical identity, and connect with music creators and fans, all in the Metaverse. That is why the ASCAP Lab and our amazing partner, the NYC Media Lab, have chosen these 4 teams to receive grants and mentorship over the past 12 weeks. Our audience includes special guests who, like you, are hearing from these teams for the first time. They are experts in their fields, here to ask questions and offer guidance as these companies develop products with music creators in mind. We are also joined by our incredible group of ASCAP mentors who have been offering guidance to these teams. Now let me turn it over to Sayar Lonial to say a few words before we kick things off.
Thanks, Brooke, and thank you for your continued leadership. The NYC Media Lab is beyond pleased to be a partner with the ASCAP Lab and to have ASCAP as a member. I want to be brief today, as I, much like all of you, am so excited to hear from Popins, OffBeat, SolTunes, and MetaCities. By bringing together music in the metaverse, this challenge harnesses the power of 2 important mediums of communication and enhances both exponentially. It is another example of the amazing things that can happen when industry and academia work together and encourage startups to push the envelope of discovery. I want to thank the Media Lab team and specifically Lauren Lumbra and Robert Klauser for their dedication and hard work. And that's enough for me for now, and I'm looking forward to the presentations.
I'm Julie Scher, also from the ASCAP Lab side, and once again, thank you all for being here. We are so thrilled to have you for this Music in the Metaverse event, and I'm really happy to say it's time to begin the team presentations. So the first team we will hear from today is Popins. Christina, the floor is yours.
Hi, I'm Christina. I'm first and foremost a music fan. These photos were taken by my friend Eddie Rayfelt at the Sasquatch Music Festival. Look at her. I've felt like this, emotionally bonded with the artist. When you relate to an artist, it becomes part of your identity. They become part of your life and part of your story. We express ourselves through the music and the artists we follow. In 2022, music is more important than ever. A lot of things have changed over the last few years, including the ways we connect with artists. The music experience is evolving. We don't want to stand behind barriers anymore. The metaverse is here and a world of opportunity to get closer to the music we love, which inspired us to launch Popins. Popins brings music to the metaverse by turning artists into 3D photorealistic holograms. Brian and I are the founders of Popins. We work with artists to create lifelike 3D performances that music lovers can watch on demand from all angles, but more importantly, play with as augmented reality you see with your phone. As soon as I saw mixed reality, I wanted to get involved. Brian and I started our careers at Geffen and Sony and met at Microsoft, leading music. We both saw instantly how this tech could take entertainment to a new level. Here are some of the artists we've had the privilege to work with. Alex Shaw was our first artist. He's one of Common's Stardust kids. He's incredible, with a new album out now. He released Nobody But You as an NFT on Rarible and sold out in less than 24 hours. This is Zan Fiscum, top 10 finalist in The Voice last year. coached by John Legend, who released her song on the same day as a major live performance. Seven Horse gave their guitar riff hologram to fans to celebrate their 10th anniversary. Tomo Nakayama released Get to Know You on Valentine's Day. Roman sang to support the people of Ukraine. Sassy Black is offering Wild as an NFT. And here's a sneak peek. It's Sir Mix-a-Lot, who has reimagined Baby Got Back 30 years after its first release, live and in 3D. And he's coming to your phone soon to appreciate all the big butts in your life. We also have comedians, characters, and more. I'd like to show you how we do it with the help of Sassy Black. The artist comes to our studio in Seattle and sings live in Seattle, surrounded by 50 cameras using volumetric video technology. Over the next 4 to 6 weeks, the video and audio is seamlessly woven together through the magic of software, and a Popins is created, ready for all to pop into their real world today and soon anywhere in the metaverse. We're focused on building a frictionless customer experience. This is how it looks. There's no app or download. You click a link or scan a QR code, and then tap the phone to place the hologram, pinch it big, small, spin it around, and then if you want, jump in the shot. And this is where things get fun. Now you're not just watching, you're playing with the artist and sharing on socials for everyone to see. And that's more than just wearing the artist on a t-shirt. The concept of AR is still new to many, but once people try it, they break into smiles. These are real posts by real people with Popins. You can do things you can't do in real life. You can literally hold an artist in the palm of your hand. You can take the artist with you on vacation and post a daily story of your adventures together, or film your own version of their music video, but taking place in your house. You're in control, not a cameraman. These artists can walk on water or sing to your cat. Every Popins includes a graphic on the bottom left with room for a profile pic and collector name for NFT owners, or a brand logo and message for marketing campaigns. Ads using AR are exploding, with QR codes pulling up branded experiences on everything from Coca-Cola bottles to luxury goods. AR ads engage customers, and marketers know how valuable that is. We're already seeing interest in AR concerts and holograms. Big tech has been investing for years. Meta, Google, Apple are developing millions of AR and VR glasses and headsets, which will make mixed reality accessible and comfortable. As masses of consumers move to virtual reality, Popins will adapt to deliver our lifelike, on-demand 3D music in virtual environments. We love our on-demand Popins, with several exciting releases in production now. But what if we could actually teleport the artist as a hologram in real time? What if we could connect people face-to-face in the metaverse who can't travel? With the support of ASCAP and NYC Media Labs, we are developing real-time holographic events that we call Popins Live. Ukrainian singer Roman Vashchuk was stuck in America with COVID when the war started, unable to reach his wife and children in Kiev. He hasn't been home since. Constitution Day in Ukraine is usually celebrated with music at local squares. Not possible this year. But with Popins Live, we were able to teleport Roman, seen here as a hologram in the foreground, in real time to his home streets. It was a powerful and deeply moving experience. Roman performed and spoke with government officials and family around the world who joined with iOS, Android, or Quest 2 devices. And we're just getting started. One of our goals is to make holograms affordable and lucrative for artists. This isn't just for Travis Scott and Ariana Grande. At Popins, the artist owns their hologram. We pay for the cost of creation. We split the revenue 50-50. With only about 100 studios in the world capable of volumetric video capture, some charging $100,000 or more, Popins is the answer for all artists, including indies. This world is hard. Music makes it better. We do enough doom scrolling, enough Zoom calls, enough sitting back watching bad news. Popins invites you to play, to engage, to express yourself. We know that in the hands of artists and creative fans, holograms in the music experience will continue to change in exciting ways we haven't even thought of. ASCAP members, please get in touch at info@popins.io. We're grateful for this opportunity to participate and look forward to all that is to come. Thank you.
Terrific job, Christina. Thank you for going first. We will now open it up for feedback and questions. So who would like to start us off? Beth.
Hi, Christina. This is super.
Hello.
Thank you for sharing with us your vision about Popins. I find this one fascinating. I'm dying to know what type of feedback are you getting from artists when you're pitching them on this opportunity? What are they worried about? What do they love? What do they hate? Can you just give us a little flavor of what they're telling you?
The feedback's been really terrific with the artists that we've worked with so far. I've had a couple of people come into the studio and see, it feels very much like doing TV or even an Instagram Live. You're in a studio with cameras, but you know there's a live audience there, or that this will be broadcast. They're excited. I mean, we're really at the cutting edge here. So I think that the artists that we've been working with really appreciate that. Alex Shaw was just on KEXP, which is a station here in Seattle last week, and he spent most of his interview talking about the hologram. So they're proud to be part of it and excited.
Amazing presentation. I am, there's so many people I'd like to see as a Popin hologram. I'd like to become one myself, but we'll talk about that later. I'm curious, so how is the hologram used and how does it actually act and interact? Is it only based on the recording of that artist that happens in the studio, or can it actually be used as an avatar that is controlled real time in the metaverse?
So these are live recordings and live broadcasts. So at the moment, they can be placed as augmented reality in the real world, and then the Popins Live through the Quest headsets. But we'll be continuing to develop all the apps for all of the different virtual environments. But you won't be able to control them, because one of the things about Popins that's different is it's a real person. So they have their own, it's the digital twins and some of the other things that you see in the metaverse are not real people, and these are. Brian, did you have anything to add?
No, I think you got it. It's exciting. It's footage. It's film. So think of the ways you would use film in today's world. This is just adding a third dimension to it.
So I have noticed that you guys were presenting through the web, which I sincerely appreciate. That's an easy and an effective way to get marketing out without the hurdle of a download. Question on the collabs or the NFTs. Are those created by the artists, or is there any possibility that the artists and the fans could create their own collabs that then would be minted to help the fans further get into it?
Right. So I'll take this one. So what you have right now when you purchase one of our AR experiences as an NFT, you saw the logo pop up when we zoomed in on Sir Mix-a-Lot. What we do, if you're the NFT owner, is we put your profile picture and your name there. And if you then sell it to someone else, we replace it. Since this is all a stream, we can dynamically overlay the data. Now, to your point, then anyone in the world can use that and can film their own interaction with the artist. And there's nothing, let's put aside the legal rights, there's nothing that prevents you from doing whatever you choose with your own user-generated content. And that could include selling a second series of NFTs or doing whatever you think is really exciting.
Hi guys, thanks for that presentation. That was great. What's the most creative way you've seen a Popins used?
The interaction. When, so you saw Sir Mix-a-Lot performing, for example. We also shot a version of him as if he's watching someone else dancing along to the performance. So you get his facial reactions, you get all kinds of things. It's great for TikTok. It's great for those kind of feeling spontaneous moments that are a lot of fun. So we think the pairing of those two, and much the way kind of Nathan was hinting, if you put these tools in the hands of the public, creative public, you're going to get all kinds of amazing outcomes.
Hi, Christine and Brian. Great job. I share everyone's enthusiasm for this. I can see lots of really neat ways to use this and how people would be really excited about it. I was wondering if any of the artists that you have worked with have any concerns about how people might use this. I could see that some people might find ways that certain artists would be perhaps offended by. I work in publishing, and we have writers who don't want their music used around alcohol or tobacco, etc. And I could see things like that being added in. Is there any concern about that? And if so, is there any way to address that?
So far, no artists have expressed any concerns. I mean, when you're on the bleeding edge of technology, you are on the edge. And that's really the way people have embraced it. Anything on the web can be manipulated these days in one way or another. And that's certainly true of what happens here. And, we hope that the community will really self-police around those kinds of issues.
Thank you again, Popins. It is time to move on to our next team, which is OffBeat. So Yao, I'll turn it over to you.
Hey guys, we're OffBeat. I'm Yao. Thanks for having us. So music plays a huge part in who we are today. I think everyone here probably has unique moments in their lives where a song or music was actually marking those moments. At OffBeat, we like to say each of us have a unique music identity, right? And music consumption is at an all-time high. Leading the consumption is Gen Z, who are our initial target audience. They spend almost one whole day a week consuming loads and loads of music. So we think there's a massive opportunity there, right? With all this music consumption that's happening on streaming platforms, they're generating loads of valuable data that actually can help reward users, but also that same data can help connect users in really interesting ways. And this was really the inspiration for our Music ID. Essentially, what we do is we look at your music consumption and streaming, we look at the merch you purchase and the events you actually attend. Your whole musical life, all under one music identity. So meet Carly and Bob. On the surface, they kind of look completely different. Carly's like really into Kendrick and she's into rap. Bob, on the other hand, is a Swiftie and he loves pop music. But if you take a closer look at their music identity, they're actually alike in more ways than they're not. They both went to Coachella. Their Pump Up Wild Out song is Kanye West Stronger, and they both actually grew up to Queen. So we think there's an exciting opportunity to actually connect users based on their unique musical listening trends and their music IDs. But the opportunity isn't just for users, it's also for artists and labels, right? Imagine an artist actually having access to all of these music IDs, really understanding what their fans listen to, what their habits are, what the sharing habits are like as well. Now, essentially, they could have an opportunity to create more engaging experiences with their fans and with their audiences. Check out the app. Amazing, right? We think so too. But what's even more amazing, or as equally amazing rather, is 2.2 billion people every year subscribe to music streaming platforms, and this number is growing. This is essentially the total addressable market for now. But the number that we're really excited about is the 90 million people who actually engage with Spotify Wrapped every year, right? That's once a year. We think that should be more frequent. That's our immediate target audience, right? But why now? Because looking at the Web3 paradigm, or if we look at the new internet, let's call it that, right? We have more awareness of how our data can work for us, right? And looking at the metaverse alone, there's a lack of musical experiences, let's put it that way. And there's an opportunity for a platform to actually come and actually reward users in the metaverse in a more interesting way. And just looking at music alone, Goldman Sachs has predicted by the end of this decade, the music streaming is going to be almost triple in value, from 30 billion to 80 billion by the end of by 2030. So we actually want to be the platform that's actually leading that innovation. From a product perspective, it's beautiful, it's pretty basic, it's pretty simple. Download the app, right? Create your avatar as your fantasy self or as your real world self, right? You then describe yourself musically. What's your favorite song? What's your breakup song? What's your party song? And then you can connect your Spotify account. Once you do that, it gets really interesting because it doesn't just look at your, let's say, your annual music taste, but it looks at what your music taste is on a daily basis, how it changes. And why this is interesting is because this is when you actually get to connect to like-minded people who have similar listening habits, right? And to top off the music ID, you can actually collect musical merch or musical collectibles from your favorite artists. In terms of our revenue model, again, we're partnering with artists so they can actually release digital collectibles and digital merch to their fans. We've also developed our own profile pic NFT collection called Music Gen. This is essentially a homage to music from the last 100 years. So from the 1920s till today, we're looking at every decade, all the popular traits, moments, and artists and trying to capture them as profile pictures. It's going live later this year, so keep in touch. It's called Music Gen. Our go-to-market strategy is purely focused on growth. So we're onboarding artist ambassadors. These ambassadors have 10s, 20s, to even 100,000s of followers on social media. They're not directly related to any artist per se, but what they do is they command large groups of fans and they're active on social media regardless of if an album is out or not. We're also creating engagement campaigns with artists, and we're adding more social features to the app. Looking at the market, there's nothing quite like this. There's Spotify Rap, but that only happens once a year. There's Last FM, but we think we can really innovate on what they're doing with music communities. Steve Aoki's Aokiverse is quite similar. It's really interesting, but it's just a direct relationship between him and his fans, as opposed to the millions of artists that are out there. We've recently onboarded 7 artist ambassadors. They represent artists like Nicki Minaj, Imagine Dragons, Billie Eilish, and they have a collective reach of over 600,000 fans across social media. We've also just done 3 successful NFT drops with independent artists in Spain. And on the corporate side, we've recently been backed by Outlier Ventures, who are Europe's leading crypto investor. And of course, for the last 12 weeks we spent with ASCAP and NYC Media Labs has been amazing. They've kind of taught us to look at the market, not just from a user's perspective, but really also taking the artist into mind and how to actually communicate this message effectively. From a team perspective, we've been in music tech for over 10 years. We've built some amazing platforms and we're excited about what we're going to do next. So we invite ASCAP members, come and join us, check out our website, check out our Instagram, and would love to bring you to the metaverse. Thanks for your time.
Great job, Yao. Thank you so much. Let's hear from our audience. What feedback and questions do you have?
Beautiful looking product, and I think you guys are headed in an absolutely awesome direction. It's like the liner notes of the metaverse. It's a great way to go. I'm very curious. Can you lay out really quickly the benefit to the end users? Like, what is the big deal that they're getting out of this when they sign up for this service?
Hey, Nathan, thanks for that. End user as an artist or as in fans?
Fan.
Okay, I think for the fan, it's 2 key things, right? It's from a community perspective, the data that's actually being generated when they're listening to music is quite detailed, right? Like from what you're sharing to what moods. So this essentially creates, like we say, your identity. And if we can match those, like if you remember that Bob Carly slide, it was like there's the passive view and there's the holistic view. The holistic view really shows you, oh snap, we both grew up to Queen, right? And we both went to Coachella, but it gets more detailed than that because it looks at it on a day-to-day basis, right? As opposed to just annually. So it's better connections, basically. Like you can discover amazing relationships. And then on a reward side, I know you said pretty quick, on a reward side, it's the fact that all of this consumption that we do, like all this music consuming, we think that there is a way for users to actually start earning from that. The same way platforms or companies earn from that, you know, so it's those 2 key things.
Thank you for that. I think that's an important way to look as consumers, as curators as well.
It's really, really, really a fun product and really, really beautiful to look at. And I was curious as I was watching it, you know, community built around music. It sounds like you guys are really taking it to a whole other level. I'm a huge music fan. And I'm curious, you know, when you start to talk about music as identity, it really parlays nicely into brand and brand identity. And I'm just curious how you guys are thinking through monetization outside of artists and users and potential brand extensions and partnerships.
So this is the thing, right? I think it's the same way like when we fall in love with certain artists, we kind of fall in love with their world and what comes with them, right? And typically they have brand endorsements. So from a secondary point of view, we think there is a way that brands can actually piggyback off the influence. It's just like what's happening in platforms today, right? They are brand ambassadors, brand endorsements, and we think we can sort of, replicate that process, but in a more personal way, right? Because essentially users start telling you the story of who they are. It's not just, hey, I'm in love with this artist. It's like, I'm in love with these 5 artists and I used to be in love with these 10. So it's like now a complex view of what they really like. So from our perspective, we think that initially, yes, we'll start with, let's say, like typical brand partnerships, but then eventually we would like to give brands that more direct access. But also when we talk about rewarding users, right, we think there's an opportunity that based on a reward system, we could almost match brands with this rewarding system. I hope that answers your question.
It does. Thank you. It's really exciting.
Sayar?
Yeah, it was amazing presentation. The product looks great. So thank you so much for that. 2 quick questions, and if you don't have time to get to them both, it's totally fine. But just to piggyback on the last one, so is it sort of like Run DMC sings My Adidas, and then you're able to partner up Adidas with the fans of people who associate with Run DMC, and therefore you're able to create a marketing platform that way? That's just to piggyback on the last question. The other question I had was actually the ability, you talked about Spotify a few times, and I'm just wondering, are there other streaming music services that you can pull from so that once you can enhance, like, so if I'm listening to somebody who's a new artist, my community gets enhanced, but maybe I didn't hear that on Spotify. Maybe I heard it on a different streaming platform. And I'm just curious to know, have you tapped into the other platforms?
So initially, yes, we're using Spotify, and they've got an open API, put simply, right? They're the easiest to integrate with. We've been building on them for several months to the point where now we have direct communication with them. They've opened our, increased our usage limits, but definitely the goal is to incorporate as many platforms as possible. So not just Spotify. I mean, we've just recently met with SoundCloud. If anybody here has direct access to any of the other streaming platforms, absolutely, please give us an intro. But it's also beyond that, right? We're also looking at, let's say, incorporating APIs from concert promoters. If Live Nation have like an API, we kind of want to get the whole spectrum. That's the idea. So not just limited to Spotify. Spotify was just the MVP. It was easy to get into, right? Your first question, to be fair, we haven't completely figured out the brand approach. We have ideas around brand ambassadors, like you gave the example of My Adidas. That's kind of the obvious route, but we're super open to actually cracking that. We haven't completely figured it out. We think there's a massive opportunity, but it's still yet to be discovered.
Yeah, I would add that we are now focusing more on building that community of music lovers that are really engaged, and then the brands will come later. But we envision more like, instead of advertisement, that those brands actually plays a part on those rewards, right? So it basically what Yao explained, that our music consumption now, it's just, there and doesn't do anything for us, doesn't generate, benefits for us as users. And all those brands could benefit and give rewards for that music consumption, because that music consumption in several forms generates income for the brands and for the festivals and for the artists themselves as well, when you consume from the stream platform. So yes, definitely, it's in the roadmap, but we believe that we need to grow our community as much as possible, and then onboard brands in a creative way and in a way that they can reward our community, and the community gets benefits from it.
Hey, Yao, have you ever thought about bringing this to the dating websites? with some type of like minimum viable match rate in order to date somebody. And I'm not sure what that threshold would be, but I feel like everyone should have to do this before they get married.
Yeah, well, Tinder has a similar integration. I would say that our product would look much better than the current integration. Again, maybe it's not the focus right now, but yeah, definitely it's super interesting, and that proves that music is super important in our lives. It takes a big part, and yeah, we really believe that, you know, in the current real world, in the virtual world, and in the metaverse, you know, we can really provide that info and create this technology so other third parties like dating apps or metaverse clubs, metaverse event organizers, and other, streaming platforms can use our technology to get a better user experience for their current user base.
Yeah, I think what's been so interesting to us about OffBeat, we started this challenge asking for different approaches to, music in the metaverse, including identity. And as we spend more time in the metaverse and we have visual representations in the sense of our avatars, in the metaverse, people really get very attached to their metaverse, to their avatar, and care a lot about being able to take it to different places. And it is your visual representation of you in the metaverse or some version of you. And we think that there's another layer to that, that is, music is part of our identities too. And so how can you bring music into the metaverse, really tied? What are different ways you can approach musical identity in the metaverse? And I think that's what OffBeat brought a kind of an interesting approach to that.
I can tell there's lots more to discuss, so I'm glad that OffBeat provided their contact information. I encourage people to stay in touch with all of our teams. It is time to move on to our next team, though, which is SolTunes. So Alessandro, whenever you're ready.
All right, thank you, Julie, and hello, everyone. My name is Alessandro Fadini from SolTunes. In fact, along with Mark Pokorny, I'm one of the co-founders of SolTunes, which is a platform to empower music creators in the metaverse. I am a jazz pianist based here in New York City, and I'm presenting this project to you as an artist and as a music creator. So those of you who, like me, are musicians, know the incredible struggle of monetization for music creators, also for music producers and independent musicians in general. And by that, I mean that on the web and in the streaming space, musicians have virtually lost all ability to monetize in a sustainable way their craft. We know it as musicians. In fact, it's all over the news. Here are a few examples. Musicians can find exposure, they can attempt to monetize through other venues, but they cannot monetize streams at a decent profit. And our music mostly flows through streaming services. Now, if we take a look at the royalties of streaming, we can understand why this is such an unsustainable model. But fortunately, this is where SolTunes steps in to change the landscape. So what is SolTunes? Well, we have a 90 seconds video that will start to answer some questions.
SolTunes is a collection of music NFTs. It is generative, so different music creators can submit a musical part which gets added to its generative core engine. In turn, the SolTunes core engine can generate trillions of NFTs from just a few musical parts. SolTunes was made for musicians by musicians. We crafted a revolutionary music generation algorithm to turn a few snippets of compositions from different creators into a multitude of musically cohesive songs performed by pixel art bands. These songs can be minted as NFTs and integrated into blockchain gamified experiences in the metaverse. As a user, you can collect, buy, and sell music NFTs made by your favorite artists. Enjoy your owner perks and play one of the first on-chain music browser games, The Shed, which lets you win NFTs. The SolTunes team created the first virtual reality gamified music experience on the blockchain, CyberShed. Connect your wallet, experience the music in VR, enhance your experience by owning SolTunes NFTs, and if you don't have any NFTs, no worries, you can win one. As a creator, Join the community, submit your own musical part, become one of the SolTunes creators, and enjoy the payouts. Whether you are a user or creator, go to soltunes.io and join our Discord to know more. Hop on the Soul train.
Yeah, that's it. This is truly our vision. We want to solve one of the biggest problems for music creators, the monetization issue, and we want to create a platform for fair and transparent monetization. So as you have seen, SolTunes generates these short compositions as mintable NFTs. These are like miniature songs. We call them SolTunes. And it's a collective collection. So each of the songs that you have heard in the video was generated through our algorithm. And you have heard only a few out of more than 90 million combinations generated just by a small pool of musical parts, composed by drummer Luke Markham and myself in this case. We are the first music creators of the SolTunes collection, but we're soon to be followed by a lot of other musicians that were in the process of contacting and onboarding, and hopefully new ASCAP members will hop on board too. We also wrote smart contracts that take care of payouts automatically. So each creator submits a musical part along with their crypto wallet address. And every time an NFT is sold or transacted in any way, the creators split all the royalties equally. The smart contract takes care of that. So it's fast, simple, transparent. By doing so, we reduce the burden of the creation and the marketing of NFTs, which is a point of friction for artists. We empower creators to work together seamlessly. In particular, we have built two use case scenarios to give our NFTs utility besides artistic value. One is called The Shed. It's a 2D browser game. And the other one is Cybershed, which is a virtual reality music gamified experience. We believe Cybershed is a good example of how we can drive monetization further. Cybershed is reminiscent of Beat Saber. For those of you who might know it, you can see that Beat Saber passed the 100 million mark on revenue just in the last 10 months. Beat Saber is a VR music gaming experience that made a lot of money, but also what we're doing is we're porting it on the blockchain. So we're giving the chance to independent artists to drive the music behind this gamified experience. So this is another article about it. So we believe that all this money should flow back to artists, not be centralized. Beat Saber now is a centralized platform in the metaverse. SolTunes is a decentralized platform because it's powered by autonomous smart contracts. It's decentralized. During the 12 weeks of the ASCAP mentoring program, we have honed our marketing skills, so it really helped us. I want to spend just last moment, thanking ASCAP for this. We learned strategies to reach out to our community, to find new allies, to embolden our initiative. We found partners that share our vision and our enthusiasm for new bleeding edge tech opportunities. We have the support of Solana. We are in contact with Audios, working with them, and we're backed by Advanced Blockchain, AG, an independent influencer. More is to come. We are just getting started here. Our roadmap includes a new constellation of opportunities. We have the Oculus Quest release of Cybershed, the VR experience. And our future really hinges on reaching out to independent artists, music producers, influencers. We plan on expanding our community to make this project successful. So our vision is ambitious and the challenges ahead are daunting. So we call on anyone who wants to join and partner with us in this adventure. Contact us. Everything you need is at soltunes.io. You'll find everything, Twitter, Discord, and all of that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alessandro. That was so wonderful. From our audience members, Who wants to go first with questions or feedback?
And so I'm curious when you said that that your platform can help artists create these pixel bands. Is your platform actually utilizing AI or some other technology to generate music itself? You said based on a snippet, or is it more that your platform is generating the visual depiction or virtual depiction of the music that's input into the platform? And how does that work?
Yeah, thank you for the question, Nick. Yes, we are doing both. So in fact, we have an AI, a generative algorithm that takes the snippets, and I'm actually I'm doing also academic work in music theory and musicology. So and I'm also coding. We're tech creators. We really build songs using a specific harmonic framework, and this was in turn as an idea made to echo what was happening with PFPs. Some of you might be familiar with these NFT trends in which they would do generative artworks, visual artworks. So we wanted to try to do the same with music, and we end up doing both. That's a great question.
Got it. So do you consider then that SolTunes is a co-creator of the work? How do you think about the sort of ownership of the intellectual property?
Yeah, that's the follow-up.
You knew that question was coming.
Yes, because they're getting it from labels as we approach various interlocutors. Yeah, so like Brian said, for Popins, this is bleeding edge. ASCAP has been helping us to figure this out. It's difficult, and we still haven't quite figured everything out. But what we want for sure is to give the intellectual property to either the creators, the artists directly in full, or the owner of the NFT, which is something that happens in certain cases. It's a tricky balance, but for sure our goal for this platform is just to be transparent and almost invisible. So definitely it's not going to be the platform that is a part of the creator. That's what we can say for now.
Got it. Thanks.
It's a tricky question. We're proud of you for having the conversations and trying to figure it out.
I share Nick and I think others' enthusiasm. It's really cool what you've created. And I particularly like the problem you're trying to solve in terms of getting more revenue into creators' pockets. I was wondering if you've done any market testing and if you have an idea of how much, a creator could gain from contributing to your platform, how much a user would pay for one of these NFTs or to take part in different things. What's your kind of expectation on monetization?
Yeah, that's obviously essential for us to build something sustainable. I don't know, maybe Mark will want to jump in too. From our end, we know that we're funded through partners and VC. We're looking for a second round of VC funding. So from our side, we think of keeping our fees to zero, or if we really need to, a small percentage, and all the money will go to the artists. And then there are different models to make sure there is value in the NFT itself, which for now we started as a pilot, kind of an experiment like you were mentioning, and we have a floor of 4 Solana. We're using Solana, which would be around more than $100 now, maybe 130.
Yeah, I think you're pretty much on point. So we start a floor price of about 4 Solana. The payback goes, we're like thinking about installing like a platform fee around 5 to 10%. And as far as the market testing goes, we haven't we're still actually talking to multiple labels, like Alex said. We haven't actually got the opportunity yet to test it, but we have been talking about it, and most labels are very comfortable with the 5 to 10% percentage.
As somebody who's lived with this keyboard his whole life, we're using your software to create essentially musical pieces that you then put together with other people, and that creates the composition. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. By the way, I really like the poster behind you, of course.
Yeah.
And I know you're
Dave Brubeck was actually a friend, so yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Oh wow! Now I have to regroup for a second after that news. Yeah, I was born in Italy, came to New York 10 years ago just to work as a jazz pianist. But yeah, actually the idea came through some of the improvisational experiments we would do, especially in my doctorate with Professor Ray Gallen, who's a trombonist. We're a renowned class jazz improviser. We would try to write arrangements, like instead of parts that are supposed to sit in a certain part of, let's say, a big band arrangement, we would randomly give out these sheets of music, small snippets, and people would try to move them around, and we would see what works, what doesn't. So from that, things evolved, and they became this algorithm. So you would write maybe a 4 bars as a composer, 4 bars part, and the computer would analyze it, find the key, and then change maybe 2 of the 4 bars to another key, and then pair it with something, making sure that the keys align, or maybe they're a relative minor or a major. I don't want to get too technical because I would love to, but yeah.
We could talk for hours about this. It sounds like you love what you're doing, and it sounds like total fun. Cool.
You got it.
I know Luke wanted to get a question in.
Yeah, Alessandro, I really love this for a couple of reasons. And following up on Doug's comment, one of the things I really love about it is you've got a remix engine working off like the musical informatics of the artists, right? I'm giving you my notes and chords and keys and melodies. I'm not giving you my guitar audio, right? That's your algorithm is doing that type of remixing, which is kind of rare, right? It's more it's more amenable to people who do songwriting, to people who do jazz, to people who do like through composed music. So I could really see some opportunities for people, who do work in like game audio or game scoring or film music, right? To really see this as an opportunity to generate revenue. So I was wondering about how you were scheming out your customer discovery in that way. Like how are you trying to get, so it's you and your friend who've put into the engine now, how are you going to find the next 100 people? How are you going to find the next 1,000 people? How can I can give you music. It's probably not any good, but I would love to, I think a lot of people would be really interested in this.
Yes, as you can see there, you're all opening Pandora's boxes, and this gives an idea of the complexity of this project actually, that we didn't grasp maybe at the very beginning. First off, you mentioned game. Yeah, there is a lot of, somehow this is perfectly suited to gaming because these miniature songs, compositions they work in a way that is, and that's why we gamified some experience to use them already in the metaverse. Basically, just to answer quickly, we're going to do a curated list at the beginning of, and in terms of how we choose and how we reach out, we're doing a lot of A/B testing in all kinds of different endeavors, and that's what Mark is doing, contacting labels, contacting YouTube influencers that maybe produce music on YouTube, contacting musicians that we know, and we will see what works and what doesn't. And we're also eventually it's going to be permissionless, and everybody will be able to just contribute, and maybe there's going to be different collections depending on the amount of artists. But for now, it's curated, and because it's the first collection, and we hope to involve ASCAP members that we know they're already a very selected group.
Thank you so much, SolTunes. It's time to move on to our last presentation of the day, and that's from MetaCities. So Chris, I will turn it over to you.
Hi, my name is Chris Crescitelli, and I am the co-founder of MetaCities along with my business partner, Trisha Costello. Together with our team of artists, world builders, developers, and producers, we are building the world's first open source network of cross-platform metaverse experiences, where you can live, work, and play inside of our 50-city event-based ecosystem. Like most huge advancements in technology, the road to mainstream metaverse deployment has been confusing and extremely disorganized. This is one of the many reasons why we founded MetaCities, which was designed to bring badly needed organization to the current chaos of the metaverse. Think of us as a quadruple force catering to both B2B and B2C opportunities. First and foremost, we are a team of developers and world builders who create high-quality interactive virtual worlds and digital twins for organizations like Act Now VR. Second, we are XR asset managers and can build, compress, store, update, and upload your commissioned virtual world files to any number of Metaverse platforms at your request. Third, our website, virtual marketing tools, event management team, and meta search engine technologies will allow us to drive Metaverse traffic through our website and inside of our virtual worlds. Together with our finance partners, MetaCities is exploring transactional opportunities with e-commerce capabilities for the creator community, with benefits that are designed to share revenues in the form of virtual ticket sales, merchandising, sponsorship, and advertising. From sea to shining sea and across the pond, the MetaCities team has been busy building major footholds in places like Meta Vegas, Meta Miami, Meta New York, Austin, Los Angeles, and even Meta Dubai. As we work to expand MetaCities into every major market, our in-house event team has been working to pioneer hybrid live event experiences with record-breaking attendance figures from events like our virtual trade show at CES 2021, our hybrid live failed to render comedy shows at Starbase Las Vegas, our virtual tailgate experience for Super Bowl LV, and the world's first global Pride XR event in collaboration with Interpride. MetaCities is so excited to be participating in the ASCAP and New York City Media Lab's Music in the Metaverse initiative, where we are developing our next big hybrid live tentpole event. Introducing the Meta Music Festival, which will debut in Q4 of 2022. Imagine being able to choose your level of immersion to experience the magic of music festivals, either in real life or as an avatar in the metaverse. With multiple themed music stages, VIP fan experiences, live speaker sessions, virtual merchandise booths, and even a pre-event camping experience, the Meta Music Festival promises to bring all of these things to life for a global audience who can tune in live via Mac, PC, or most virtual reality headsets. And to reach our friends on mobile devices, we will also be live streaming to all social media channels like YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So you can tune into our groundbreaking performances on just about any device without downloading an app or a need to put on a VR headset. For the past 12 weeks, our team has been working with companies like Microsoft SaltSpace VR, Proto Hologram, and Starbase Las Vegas to beta test a variety of live metaverse performance technologies with a diverse group of ASCAP member artists, including singer-songwriter Rusty Anderson, aka Paul McCartney's lead guitarist, and the talented team from Bigger Better Meta, featuring their hit song, Welcome to the Metaverse. Together, we work to showcase a variety of hybrid live performance styles, including hybrid live streaming content, hybrid live hologram content simulcast, and hybrid live mixed media avatar performances. The following is a short sizzle reel featuring highlights from our music-filled adventure.
Hey yo, party people in the house. You about to witness something you ain't never witnessed before. So G beats, that's hot.
Gigabyte jokes, watch them avatars, you might get booked. Soul on the track, need a crease on the hook. Saxy on the sax, homie, that's a good look. Honey's got bodies now, chicks and stilettos. Gotta keep a part of the metaverse ghetto. Ain't nothing wrong with that, yo, I'm with it. And maybe she just might let my avatar hit it. All over the track.
Of whispering night travel down the wind. Memories of some other life flicker deep within. After the sun
As community leaders in the XR industry for many years, my colleagues and I have often dreamed of a free and open metaverse where everyone can live, work, and play in a safe and secure environment that is focused on what we at MetaCities call our 5 pillars of success: equity, diversity, inclusion, sustainability, and accessibility. Like consumers, companies worldwide are jumping headfirst into the metaverse from industries like banking and finance, fashion and hospitality, healthcare and education, and of course, entertainment and music. In 2021, the total investment in the metaverse market was valued at $80 billion, and it is expected to reach a value of $800 billion by the year 2027. At MetaCities, we aim to acquire 10 to 20% of the global market once we reach our 50-city goal. And that's not all. By 2024, experts estimate that 36 million devices will be shipped worldwide, and the MetaCities team will be there to greet everyone with exciting music events and content programming. In closing, I'd like to thank everyone at ASCAP and New York City Media Lab for including us in the Music in the Metaverse Challenge. And I'd like to personally invite all of our esteemed viewers to consider collaborating on the Meta Music Festival later this year. And if you'd like to build your own festival, virtual world, or entertainment project, please contact us to get started. You can follow us at MetaCities XR on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn, or contact us via our website at www.meta-cities.com. What can we build for you today?
Wonderful job, Chris. Thank you so much for that great presentation.
Thinking of all sorts of different ways in which we could create worlds together. And what I also really love is I can see how all the different platforms and technologies from each of the different teams here might work together. And so I have sort of 2 questions. One, have you guys thought about that? But secondly, also, you mentioned some of those verticals. I'm curious, which do you think is the primary vertical you want to focus on first?
To answer your first question, yes. One of the great things about this ASCAP program is the other cohort members. We've all become friendly during the 12 weeks and have been supporting each other behind the scenes and also trying to dabble in each other's technologies and see how we can share resources and connections. So definitely looking forward to more of that. As far as verticals, obviously entertainment and music, I'm a 30-year career veteran of the entertainment industry. I work in film, music, live shows. Trisha, my partner, owns an entertainment venue in Las Vegas where we created the world's first hybrid live event venue, Starbase Las Vegas. And so entertainment and music really is our first vertical. But right behind that is education. We're very connected in the educational community in our hometown of Las Vegas, working with folks like UNLV, where we just graduated a previous accelerator program that we were in, and looking forward to further development in all of the MetaCities as we explore all of the verticals.
Very cool. Can't wait to visit.
Thank you.
Hey guys, thanks so much for this, Chris. This looks fantastic. It looks like you guys play in a lot of different spaces and do a lot of different things, but it ultimately focus on bringing a meta performance to some virtual experience. Can you tell me, like, if you had to focus, what would be the path forward for doing so?
Sorry, in regards to music entertainment?
Music entertainment platforms, tech, like if you had to choose one path straightforward, what would it be?
Sure. Well, we have been aligned with Microsoft's AltSpace VR platform for about 2.5 years now. We're early adopters, if you will. So we were, during the pandemic, working to bring some really amazing experiences to the airwaves. We're continuing to grow that relationship, but we are platform agnostic. So we'll be working and have worlds inside of other platforms as well, like Meta's Facebook Horizons and others. I think there's just a lot of opportunity right now to grow, and we're really just claiming our stake and market share with our geocentric experiences. So branching and fanning out into the 50 markets is really critical for us because we are a volume business.
Nick has another question. We'll go back to Nick.
I have lots of questions and a lot of excitement for all the projects here today. So again, thank you, everybody. I was curious, I loved hearing about some of your pillars as well. I was curious about how diversity, how inclusion and equity, how does that play into the virtual MetaCities experience, or what do you want to enable based on those pillars?
Sure. So we look at equity, for example, within MetaCities ecosystem, we're able to create new ways for people to open a business. Imagine a mom and pop gift shop on a strip mall who has overhead, including rent, electricity, all the things that you need to do, plus your product, shipping, all the things you need to do to open up a store. Inside MetaCities, you can lower the barrier to entry, creating more opportunities for people to become wealthy and find their pathway to riches, really just based on your performance and the products that you're offering. But for what I would consider comparatively a very low dollar, we can get people set up in a virtual store with e-commerce capabilities within 30 days. When you look at diversity and inclusion, for example, with our Pride XR event, we create a safe place for people to gather. In some countries, it's illegal to have Pride. Within MetaCities, you can gather safely, anonymously, and host events, not to mention parades and all the other fun things that you can do. But we work really hard for all of our events to have moderators and let's call them security guards that are there to police the attendees to make sure that there's no bullies or bad actors getting into our virtual spaces. So we try to create a safe space for everyone to thrive and succeed. Do you want me to talk about all the verticals? Because I could go on. Sustainability obviously is a no-brainer. If we can host an event and prevent people from having to travel across the country just to get on stage to speak for 20 minutes, you know, all of their carbon footprint from water bottles and things that they do on their travels. When we host things like our CES conference with Dreamland XR, a lot of the speakers gave us kudos because some of them had kids and it was always challenging for them to travel. They were able to be a speaker at a major conference without ever leaving their house, but they were also able to be immersed in the content and connect with peers in a way that's different than a Zoom call. And it's a more meaningful connection. And lastly, accessibility obviously is something we're very passionate about. I work with a lot of different accessibility groups and very conscious of making sure that all of our platforms and events have accessible options. This is something that's still growing. If you follow the news stories on accessibility, there's a lot of companies that are very passionate about it, but not everyone is hitting the mark. So we aim to be that right out of the box.
That's awesome. It's all incredibly powerful. And I think, you know, all those pillars are things that are very consistent with our values at ASCAP as well. So we're really excited to see how you apply them to the music industry and to creators and to artists' lives.
Yes, thank you so much.
Really great presentation, everybody. Thanks, you guys, for doing this for us. This one particular question, I just want to just kind of ask about the mom and pop shop example you brought up. How do you envision giving some kind of autonomy back to the people who are actually using this platform? Like, for example, they're adding more products or they're bringing more stuff into their store. Do they need to come back into your studio to kind of reshoot these or reprogram these or produce these things, or you're going to give a little bit more autonomy to them?
There's a few different ways to create virtual products. Initially, as world builders, we would sit down with a store owner and decide which products they want to bring into the virtual environment. We like to say things like Metaverse only offers, right? So think of it like Black Friday on steroids, right? If you can buy a TV for cheaper than you can at Walmart on Black Friday, you're creating this compulsive, you know, Metaverse only offer. Maybe it's get there first to get a ticket or get a hotel room for a cheaper rate, but there's only 50 available, right? So we're trying to drive traffic by creating these unique offers. We don't feel personally that if you're creating a store that you want to populate thousands and thousands of products. If you look at some of the research and testing that companies like Walmart are doing, where you'll have a virtual shopping cart and you can literally go through an entire store and select from thousands and thousands of products, it gets a little bit overwhelming. So we're mainly focusing on our exclusive Metaverse offers as a first draw, because again, we're teaching our audience, we're helping to drive traffic. We're creating constructs that don't exist for everything from Fortune 500 companies to small mom and pop shops. So it's really the wild, wild west still, and we're trying to lead with best efforts and using all of our experience in the Metaverse that we've acquired over the past few years to share with everyone.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you so much, MetaCities, and to all 4 of our teams. We've actually heard from all of our teams now. So we hope you all will continue the conversation in the real world, in the metaverse, anywhere you can find them. But since we're concluding the presentation portion, I'm going to turn it back over to Sayar and then Brooke for some closing remarks.
That was absolutely amazing. And I could not be more proud to have partnered with ASCAP and the ASCAP Lab to support these 4 teams. Your discovery and your innovation is it's captivating. It's the New York City Media Lab's mission to partner with groups like ASCAP to together amplify innovation in media, all while working to ensure that all of these new technologies are available to as diverse a community as possible. The metaverse, music, images, the printed, spoken, and sung word, these are but some of the myriad forms of communication. We are excited to work to get to the heart of how we communicate as a people and how we can better use innovation to enhance communications for all people. Join us as we explore all of this and more while tapping into the immense power of New York City's academic institutions, their faculty, researchers, and of course, their students. Thanks for your time today. And let me wrap up by once again thanking Brooke for your commitment to innovation and to the New York City Media Lab.
That was just an incredible set of presentations. And it's our hope this session really has sparked everyone's imagination to consider the possibilities ahead for music creators and fans in the metaverse. Congratulations to our 4 incredible teams. It has been such a pleasure to work with you during this program, and we wish you every success in the future. And of course, thank you to all of our audience members, our wonderful mentors, and our vital partners at the NYC Media Lab. At the ASCAP Lab, we are shaping the musical future today. To learn more about our events and other initiatives, visit www.ascaplab.com and navigate technological innovation with the Future Forward PRO for creators. Thank you again for joining us, and we hope to see you soon.